Okay, so we have another example here where we're going to evaluate using the order of operations. Now, you'll notice our problem is one big fraction. In the numerator of our fraction, we have the quantity 8 plus 5 in parentheses being squared minus 65, and then that's over the denominator, which is 30 minus 9 minus 8. So we're going to use our acronym PEMDAS. And again, I always like to repeat that a lot of people misinterpret PEMDAS and think it's 6 separate steps because it's 6 different letters. But actually, step 1 is P for parentheses, step 2 is E for exponents. But for step 3, we join multiplication and division together. And for step 4, we join addition and subtraction together. So when we come to step 3 for multiplying and dividing, we do them in order that we see them in the problem from left to right. So it is possible you might divide before you multiply. And same with addition and subtraction. As you look at your problem from left to right, if subtraction comes before addition, you might subtract before you add. Okay, so let's look at the problem we're given. Now, like I mentioned before, it's one large fraction. So you have to assume that your numerator has its own set of parentheses around it. In this case, I'm going to put square brackets because my numerator already has parentheses. And then we assume my denominator already has parentheses around it. So when you have a fraction like this, you simplify the numerator down to one number, and then you simplify the denominator down to one number, and then you don't deal with that main fraction bar until the very end. So as I look in my numerator, inside those brackets, I see a set of nested parentheses. So since P comes first, I'm going to work inside those parentheses first, and I'm going to add 8 plus 5. So that gives me 13 squared minus 65 for my numerator. Now, in my denominator, I have 2 subtractions, so I'm just going to go left to right. So I'm going to start by doing 30 minus 9 from left to right, and that gives me 21, and then I have 21 minus 8 in my denominator. So I still have to simplify my numerator, and I still have to simplify my denominator. So when I look in my numerator, now I see that there's a 13 in parentheses, but it's being squared. So that brings me to E for exponents. So I'm going to take care of the 13 squared. That's 169. So now my numerator is 169 minus 65. And in the denominator, I can take care of that subtraction and do 21 minus 8. So I still have one more step to go before I can fully have my numerator simplified. My denominator is done at 13, but in the numerator, I have to subtract 169 minus 65, which leaves me with 104. So now I'm at 104 over 13. So now I'm ready to take care of that fraction bar. 104 divided by 13 is 8. So my final answer for this problem is 8.